I'm James Lee.
And I am Tasha Lee.
You know who it is. You know when you go on live, you just kind of want to give people some time to get into the madness, the fray of things. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to give them an opportunity to.
But we appreciate those that are on time. But let me say that too. We appreciate that you're on time when you're on time. Appreciate it.
Those that are on time.
Appreciate it.
You know, just like anything else, we do it in order. So we thank you for being here in the room. And tonight is a night of really just kind of free conversation. An opportunity to discuss at length, whatever it is. So type your comments, your questions into the comment box so we can actually see them. I do have a few that were sent to us that I'm just going to read and respond to. Nothing too wild, but we want to address them. We want to put them before everyone and just kind of give our opinion on what we think is the answer.
Which is all it really is. It's our opinion based on the experience we have being married 22 years, based on the experience we have mentoring couples, just based on our experience, period. That's really what it is.
Absolutely.
We're not claiming to be I don't know any marriage gurus, but as we always say, if you watch our videos, we are marriage experienced.
Yes.
Marriage champions.
Yes.
What else I'm missing? Marriage
advocates.
Oh, big time marriage advocates. So that's where all this comes from. That's where this energy comes from. That's where this information comes from. So we appreciate again and thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. So I had this first question here, and it's really, honestly, it was something that I don't think we've really discussed at length. But the question was, I don't remember how it was written specifically, but it said, what do I do if I'm dealing with stepkids who won't clean up after themselves and mom gets mad at me when I say something about it?
So a little blended family.
A blended family question, right? Yeah, is what that's about.
You want to start?
Well, I say punch them kids in the throat. I'm just kidding.
You are silly.
You can't punch kids in the throat. Not legally, you can't.
Let me start. I thought y'all was going to let you start. I will start the answer then.
I will give an answer.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
When you come together as husband and wife, okay, no matter what, kids, no kids, the understanding from each of you should be that responsibility will fall on the shoulders of you both, right? And in that, the responsibility of discipline should also follow. Now, in this case, if your wife has an issue with you saying something to the kids about them not fulfilling their duty, that doesn't fall on you. I think that falls on the children specifically. They are the ones that have to make sure that they're getting their jobs done the way they should be getting it done. And your wife shouldn't give you any pushback, especially in front of the children, to let her know that to let them know that there's any contention between the two of you. That it should be a united front. If she does have some pushback, maybe you went in and you kind of went real hard on the kids or something. I don't know. Maybe you
punched him in the throat.
Yeah, that. Or said something maybe a little too rough. If she was going to challenge you on anything, she should do that in private, away from the kids. That way you can still present that united front and make sure them kids get those duties done. Was that better?
That was better, baby.
Okay.
I was just gonna add that in anything you do, first and foremost, you should have a conversation with your spouse. And I'm hoping you guys had a conversation about kids and how you discipline the kids and how you're raising the kids before it actually happens. But I know that doesn't always happen. So today, rewind and make sure you have that conversation. But if you find yourself in that situation, make sure you're doing it from a place of love. We have our children do chores and we give them responsibilities around the house to build them up, because we know that they're going to have responsibilities in the world. So we're not doing it to make them our little slaves. We are doing it so we can make them responsible adults. We're preparing them for what's next. So being able to explain to them, hey, this is why you need to be doing this, other than the fact that I told you so. This is why you should be doing this. I need you to do this. Get it done, right? And it's coming from a place of love, not just a place of I'm the boss.
Right.
Because that was a good question, though.
It was a good question, because the last thing you want to do, be it stepkids, your own kids, is allow the kids to become a point of separation or division between husband and wife, because them kids gonna leave and y'all gonna be left together by yourselves, and you don't want the kids to cause there to be an issue, and by the time they're gone, y'all stuck at the house together and you don't get along. So
that brings me to another point. Of course, nothing should be in the middle of the two of you. There should be nothing that separates or creates any space between you and your spouse. That goes for parents.
Oh my goodness.
Parents, your own parents or the parents of your spouse. With whatever way that they feel like they are trying to get in there, rather that's too much time that you need to spend with them, rather that they always trying to tell you how you should do your marriage, or they just nitpicky and start fights between the two of you based on something they said. So just thought about that. Not only will the kids leave, this is not your mother and father's marriage. Keeping that in mind.
Because that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And by the time y'all get over it, parents
don't get over it.
They don't get over stuff, yeah.
Because that's my baby. So I understand.
One other question that came up here. How long should it take my wife to forgive me after I've said I'm sorry? I don't know that formula. I will say this: forgiveness should be given instantly. It should be given right away. Forgiveness, because forgiveness is not excusing the offense. It's taking the weight of the offense off the shoulders of the offended, so they can continue to try to move on and to rebuild that trust. I know many times we don't want to forgive because we feel like, no, they haven't suffered enough. They haven't gone through it enough.
They don't understand how I feel.
It hurt me.
Right.
I need them to hurt like I hurt. That's not biblical. What if Jesus did that to us?
Oh my goodness.
Because you offend him every day. Every day.
True. Factual.
So you think your heavenly stars that's not the case when it comes to our Lord and Savior. And although we know we're not him, we want to strive to be like him. So forgive. So I can't tell you how long. What did you do? Put that in the comments.
You know what?
Let us know.
Tell us what you did.
Yeah.
Then maybe we can decide how quickly she can forgive you.
Maybe you don't deserve no forgiveness.
And the other thing to keep in mind is not only what did you do, but how many times did you do it? Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
We always tell, we have 2 sons. We always say the best form
Of an apology.
The best form of an apology is a change in behavior.
Absolutely.
If you keep apologizing for the same thing over and over again, are you really sorry? I think not. So with that, I think it would take me a little bit longer to get over it if this is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th offense. That's what I'm saying.
Dang, yeah.
You know?
6 times. But the Lord said 70 times 7.
Yeah, that is what
That's what he said. 6 ain't that close to 490. So
let's continue to work on being Christ-like, people. Let's continue to strive. You know, He has set the bar for us. Let's do what we can. That's all I can say about it. Let's do what we can.
That's all we can say. It's all we can do. Just know that forgiving is not excusing the behavior. Period. You just want to make sure that you can actually, start to work on healing. Because if you don't give that forgiveness, that healing, it won't come quite like you want it to. What was the next question? Oh, we had somebody ask a question about I didn't think we did a video about like finances or.
I mean, we've talked about money before.
I know we talk about it, but I didn't think we did one specifically about, finances and you should do this and blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But this question was, is a separate bank account really that big of a deal?
I know we talked about that. That may not have been an actual full video, but we definitely talked about that.
Excuse me. We did talk about it, and we will say this. From the Lees, it's a big deal because it's a trust issue somewhere. Somebody did something or caused some kind of something for there to be a limited trust in that area. And where we feel the breakdown is because you share everything else. You share a home, you share a bed, you share your bodies. What's up on that bank account? Why not it? So it's a trust issue. It really is.
Sometimes people think, I've heard people say, well, I've never had a problem with money. Our whole marriage, I've made sure I was a good steward of our funds. I pay our bills on time. I take care of the money. Make sure I take care of the money. So I don't understand why he doesn't trust me with the money or why he doesn't want to have the same bank account. That trust could be splashing over into this pot from someplace else.
Absolutely.
I see how you handle this, and this is my money. And people real particular about the coins now. Real particular about their coins. So be careful with that. But in that, it may be coming from a different place. So being able to talk through where we are and why that hasn't happened is important. It also could come from how you saw things in your own home when you were coming up. Your parents always had a separate bank account, or your mom, I don't know why it's the mom, or your dad, let's say either one, but usually it's the mom, always had a little stash, that little mad money, that she put over to here or what have you. Nah.
I'm just saying.
You didn't say anything. Be careful though.
I'm gonna be careful. I'm gonna tread into it a little lightly. That mad money thing, that's not a man thing. I'll just say that.
It could be called whatever it's called for a man. I don't know what it's called.
That's not a man thing.
So you telling me that men don't have money, a different account? Well,
I didn't tell you that.
I won't say what kind of account they have either there, but I'm sure they have a little separate account to do whatever they want to do that maybe their wives don't particularly know about or have access to.
You think I have that?
I said men, babe.
I'm a man.
You know what? Some men do. Let me not find out that you do. How about that? Anyway, so I think that happens, right? So we just have to dig a little bit deeper to find out what that's about. But again, that's for us, right? That's for me and mine. That's what we do. But if that's okay with you and that works for you to have that separate account, go forward.
Right.
Continue to work on that and let that be what you do. But if one of you, or both of you aren't really understanding why you're doing it or not really in complete agreement, then I encourage you to dig a little deeper, because, we just have separate bank accounts just because is a little surface.
Yeah, don't let us cause any dissension in your home, because of course that's what we recommend for those reasons of keeping the trust and building that trust with you. But if it's been working for you and you have them separate, so be it. Hopefully nothing happens to where your spouse can't get access to that money and they need it, because that would be tragic. But nevertheless, that's the answer to that question. Is that a big deal?
All right, what else you got?
I think we had one more that was emailed in. I don't know why people don't want to get on the live and just ask the question live. People don't want to know where the questions come from.
Sometimes.
That's what the issue. Yeah.
But we're okay with emailing in and
yeah. We're okay.
Or texting us if you know our personal number. That's okay too.
It's okay. It's a little cowardice, but
it is not.
I say get on here with your chest out.
He kids.
Say what you want to say.
What else you got?
Everybody know. What's
up?
What's up with it? Right. What would you recommend for someone that's really fallen out of love? And when that question came through, first it kind of saddens you a bit, because it's like, you fell out of love. First of all, love is not required to be married. It isn't. People get married all the time, and there's no love. In arranged marriages, they happen all the time.
It's more business,
and there's no love, right? But you can grow to love someone, and ideally, that's what your hope is. But I'll say this: your wedding vows, if you went anything along the lines of how they are performed, biblically, for husband and wife, it wasn't contingent upon you being in love. It was for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health. It didn't say in love or out of love. So when you made that covenant before God and whoever else was there with you, that's what it was. It didn't have an expiration date. It didn't have some escape clause for you. None of that. So what I would say is, it's a poor excuse to say, hey, what do you do if you're thinking on the way out?
That's the answer.
That's the answer, right?
Right.
You got to put in work. Think about it like this. If they came to you on your job and said, Mr. Williams, that's not who wrote this message, but Mr. Williams, we were looking at your performance here lately over the past quarter, and your numbers are down. I think we're going to have to let you go, and unless we see some quick improvements. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a 30-day probation, and we want you to meet these certain goals and gates in order to keep your employment. And from there, we'll reevaluate every 90 days to kind of see how everything kind of looks for you, and we'll go from there. You think you'll put some effort in trying to keep that job? Because if you can do that for your job, you can do that for your marriage.
And I also think about it, when you talk about the vows and for richer, for poor, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health. I often say when we're talking to couples, we do use words like, of course, we all say I love you all the time. I probably tell James 100 times a day I love him. But really starting to dig to see, it's an action word, right? So what does that look like?
Right.
What does that love look like? Because we say it all the time, and I think it's just something sometimes we just throw around because, maybe that's how we end conversations or phone calls, or that's our greeting or whatever. But what does that look like? It does look like, man, it's getting tough, and he is getting on my last nerve, but let me find a way to connect. Man, he's sick, and I don't know what to do. What I'm gonna do with this? And I stick it out and bring the medicine and rub his head and massage his feet, whatever the case may be. Yes, that's what it looks like. So determining for yourself within your relationship, what does that love look like? And how can I turn it up a little bit to make this a better situation? What kind of conversations am I having with my spouse based on what my needs are, so that we can get to that next level and get over this mountain that we're in, a molehill that we're on, whatever the case may be. How can we get over this to get to where we once were, or get to a better place? Because that's what we really want. And we always say, that starts today. That marriage, that situation, it starts today. So you can do better today. You can do better than you did yesterday. Even if you've been married for 10 years, this next 10 is going to be even better based on, what you're finding out about each other, what kind of conversations you're having, and how you're connecting. So as quickly as you can fall out of it, you can fall right back into
Hello.
it. Lean. Now,
Hello,
lean.
lights. Come on.
Lean.
Lean in.
All right now.
Get in there.
So that's still a good question. I think that happens. And that thing I was going to say about the whole, love, that I did say about love, what does that look like? It's the same thing for I really do respect my husband. Well, what does that look like? Because
right.
when you going off on him and cursing him out and, twerking that neck and snapping those fingers.
Oh, come on.
That doesn't look like respect.
Sure doesn't.
Or if you're keeping secrets, or like I was just saying, these side bank accounts that people don't know about or whatever, that doesn't look like respect. So what does that look like for you? And make sure that you're showing it, not just saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get this little blurb here. Okay, so is porn cheating?
Oh, you're asking me. I'm sorry. I was trying to read at the same time. Is porn cheating? My gut right off the top, I say yes. Okay? And yes, I realize that you don't know Debbie in Dallas or whatever it is.
Really?
I don't know. Whatever it is. I realize you don't know these people, but I think mentally it's taking you away from who I am and what I bring to the table, and you are being aroused by that. So anything that takes your, especially sexually, if that takes your attention away from me and that's arousing you, then I feel like that could be considered a form of cheating, because that's not me, and what they're doing isn't real anyway. So when you start looking at somebody else and, hey, well, maybe that's what my wife should look like, or that's what my wife should be doing, or maybe that's what my husband should be doing. Oh, now we have went too far, because I need you to love me and want me based on what I bring to the table, not Debbie. And I just don't have a better word or personal name. So
well,
that's my opinion. I feel like.
Oh no. I mean that's cool. You're entitled to your opinion.
Thank you.
I would say women overthink this a lot. Because
we overthink it.
Yes.
Oh, please do tell.
Well, typically when a gentleman dives into the pornography, it's not necessarily that I'm displeased with your wife, with my wife, or I'm displeased with even who I am. There's deep spirits in pornography, and it can grab you and kind of hold you a little closer than you need to be. And if you dabble into that, it can start to pull you into some realms where you really don't want to go. And it ends up not so necessarily being so much about your wife, but more about the fantasy of what's taking place there, right?
I agree with that.
And not even so much to where it's a, hey, I wish my wife would do this, or I wish my wife would do that. It's just, that's kind of taking you to a different place mentally. And some guys might even do it because they feel like that's going to help them, you know, with their wife. But I was stretched to say that it can almost ruin that connection because,
which is what I just said.
You did say that, but it can ruin that connection because you get so involved and so deep into it. You almost prefer it over anything else because it's the fantasy of it. It's the dopamine that comes from that feeling you get. So it just kind of pulls you in deeper and deeper. And speaking from personal experience, you have to decide to break yourself away from that, to say, God, remove this from me. I know this is not what I should be doing. I don't want to do it anymore, and make a decision that you're not going to even do anything that resembles it. So it's a decision that you have to kind of make and lean in closer to your wife, because that can be that itch that you need scratching, that can hold you closer than anything else.
Realistically as well. I mean,
yes, realistically.
So the question was,
is porn cheating? So let me answer that question.
So that is a closed-ended question, which I think I started with the answer. What was your answer? And come on.
Porn is cheating you out of the fruitfulness of your marriage. So I would have to say yes.
Thank you. Now, how is it that his answer is the very last thing that he says? Let's start with that answer. Let's knock him down straight out the way. Yes.
Hey, I answer how I would like to answer. I would. So we got our first question. Someone has their hand up in the audience. Is it true that opposites attract? Or it is true. That's what it says. It's true that opposites attract, but how do they stay together? I wonder if this person was on a few minutes ago when I explained about the covenant. If you weren't on, hit rewind.
Well, let me say this about opposites attracting. Of course, they stay together because it's something new to me every day. Because you're not exactly like me. James and I are not exactly the same. We do not have all the same views on quite a few things, but it allows us to learn a lot about each other and about other interests and things that we have. So that's important. That keeps it a little spicy right there. But don't allow those differences to put you at opposition with one another. Learn from those things, grow from those things, and that could be something you just you don't know about. It's opposite you because you never really were into that. But talking about it and sharing those things can help you to grow.
And you have to be certain that you don't lose sight of why you got together in the first place. You got together, you came together, you got your something drew you together. And it wasn't because you didn't like each other. Something brought you together. So now that you're on the same team. Mm-hmm. You can't forget that you're on the same team. So you disagree about this one thing, and now you want to throw the whole baby away? Nah, you just disagree. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I know you still love me. Get over here and get some of this loving, and let's move on. I'm not gonna hold any grudges against you because you don't disagree. I mean, that you don't agree with me. You've been wrong before, so let's just move on.
That last part, though.
That was just an example and a bit of clarity.
Great question.
Very, very good question. I think the opposites attract thing, that's more, you're more alike than you think you are. Because if you were opposites, really, really opposites, there probably would be no attraction.
Well, there could be one thing that you align with.
Could be, but
you do have a lot of things.
You gotta have some things that are in intact. And we all know we got that one thing that brings us together. You know what I'm saying? That married life.
I'm sorry, people. I'm so sorry.
I mean, it's after 10. You know, we all grown. Everybody grown.
Next question.
Anybody got any more questions in the chat? Shoot, I hit my questions.
You hit it?
The ones that were sent to me.
Okay.
I hit those. Did anybody send you any questions?
Mm-mm.
Oh, here's one. I'm sorry. We got the same email. I missed this one.
The Lees at elevatemarriages.com.
I am a Leon. What advice do you have for people already in challenging marriages? That's a very broad question.
It is a very broad question. And what's a challenging marriage? What is it exactly? Does that mean? We don't.
Yeah,
talk?
what does that mean? What is a challenging? You know what? If your marriage is not challenging, man, the end is near. Because it should be work.
Yes.
It should be work daily for you. It shouldn't just be mundane.
I like that.
Just regular, day by day, going by each other like ships in the night. It should not be that. Mm-hmm. It should be work that you put in. People work on everything except their marriage. They go to the gym, work every day. They go to work and work every day. It's like, come on. They'll go to a church, every church service. They go to bowling meetings, everything.
I don't know about the bowling meetings. Great examples, yes. But when it comes to work, to your marriage, it's just supposed to happen.
Because we take each other for granted.
Oh, that's so true.
We take each other for granted so many times that we got to stop doing that. That's not cool to take your spouse for granted. Any day, they could be gone. There's a young man, I have to pause for a minute, by the name of Jamal Chubb. His wife, what was his wife's name? Krista, pull her name up. His wife, they're young. She contracted COVID-19, okay? And she was 38 weeks pregnant. Contracted this COVID-19 and basically went to the hospital and was on death's doorstep. They were able to deliver the baby, but she literally, it wasn't there? Angie?
I'll find it.
She literally was, they had to put her on a vent. She's to this day still on a vent, but they told him that she had days to live. So it already had, I think, 1 or 2 kids, brand new newborn. She's 30s, early 30s, something. And here it is. He's walking through this door and he's about to lose his life. Sierra Chubb. They're on Facebook. So this is nothing that I'm sharing that's not out in the public. But this was 70, almost 80 days ago. She was out of there. I mean, it was basically when it was going to happen. Young man stayed, of course, by her side. He put a Facebook video out a couple days ago and was talking, had his mask on in the hospital, and he's like, yeah, she's doing better. She this, blah, blah, blah. And, somebody wants to say hello. And he turns the camera around and shows her. And she's got the trach on still, but she's sitting up in bed. She's smiling. And they're working she's walking around the hospital. She's trying to get her lung capacity back so she can breathe on her own. They can take the trach out. But man, I'm telling you, something like that could happen in your life, and you never know where your spouse would be. You be by yourself. You got to handle everything by yourself. Stop taking each other for granted. Stop going to bed upset. Stop getting mad about petty little stuff. It's just, we got to stop doing that because it could be gone in a second. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to switch places with that brother. We prayed for him and continue to pray for him for her healing, but it didn't look good at all.
But God.
Absolutely.
You definitely.
So there's a little praise report with that. We had another question that came through in the comments here.
I'm ready.
How often should dates take place?
Oh, I think that's a great question too. Date night, of course, is super important as far as keeping the spice in your marriage. And I would say you talk to each other and determine how often. I would say at least, maybe at the very least, twice a month. If you do it once a week, I think that would be great, because once a week you have something to look forward to. I think what happens is people are like, oh, we already went out to eat, or, oh, we already did this or that. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Take time, take turns, coming up with what the date night experience should look like, and enjoy it to the fullest when your spouse comes up with an idea. I don't care if he decides to get chicken from Popeyes and go sit in the backyard on the blanket. Go outside and sit on the blanket with the Popeyes chicken, okay?
Do it on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
They got that special.
They do. I like that special.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, do that. Whatever it may be. You guys take turns. So I guess the answer, and I just blame James for this, right? I guess the answer for me, ideally, I would say once a week. But if not, at the very least, every other week. Because it can get expensive if you're trying to do all of that. But if you're really being creative, then I think you can come up with some other things that don't require money or little money. And we live, I don't know where everybody is, but we live in Houston. The for the free stuff is all over the place, all over the place. So there's so many things you can do. You can go see. Just be creative and put some effort and energy into it and see what you come up with. And be sure to share those things with us, the leads at elevatemarriages.com.
Yeah, shoot us some pictures and just tag us.
That'd be cool, because then we can share with other families. Other couples.
We like to see married people out having fun, making marriage look cool.
That's right.
Yes. We don't exclude those that are not married. We don't want that to be the case. We welcome you as well, because you got to have some example to follow. But we love to see couples out enjoying one another in this marriage game.
Great question. Thank you.
Okay, for these late entries here, let's see. Do you believe that a couple can make it work if only one spouse is on board?
I'm going to help him because he's going to elaborate. The answer is
no.
When we have couples that come to us for mentoring, usually it's one or the other, right? So initially, when they come to us, it's like, okay, hey, this is what we do, but where's your husband, or where's your wife? Oh, well, I haven't talked to them. Well, this is not going to work, because we need everybody on board, all hands on deck, if we're going to save this marriage, which is what we want to do, encourage and elevate this marriage, right? And all hands have to be on deck. So we need the buy-in from both sides so we can work together to make it right. So no, you cannot do it by yourself. You cannot be married to yourself or by yourself.
That's got a nice bow on it to me. I mean, shoot. Why would you want to by yourself? Yeah, why would you want to do it by yourself? If the other isn't on board, that to me, that just seems futile. It's I don't want to say it's a waste of time, but if one wants out and only the other one wants in, what are we doing?
You're running around in circles, chasing your tail, whatever the expression is. But you're dizzy, I tell you that for sure.
Definitely.
And we don't want to get on that ride. That's
nah, we're not gonna go there with you. We won't. We'll pray for you.
Definitely.
But we need both people front and center.
Yes.
With that. So.
But great again. That was a good
Great
question.
Great question. What else? Anything else in the comments? We had some folks come in, come out. This was really just an opportunity. We hadn't done this before, to get in and just to have some live conversation with folks that are in the marriage game, that want to be in the marriage game. Maybe, you're not in it anymore, but the idea was to get on and to share our opinion, because that's what they are, God-inspired opinion, with where we feel about what we feel about marriage, because we're serious about this thing. We ain't new to this. We true to this. So
and we may do this again. Of course, he had to kind of drag me to do it. I don't know about this whole live thing, and and trust me, even when we do our regular video.
What do you mean? We go live every
oh my goodness
video.
Yes, we are live every video because he doesn't redo it or anything. So what you see is it, right?
That's a one take. You get the full one take. I'm not redoing it. Let's just do it.
So, but this has been cool, just being able to answer some of your questions on the fly, and we hope to see you next time we do it. I don't know. We may make it once a week or once every other week type of thing where we can take on some questions and answer things that we haven't made into a full video.
Yes.
So we appreciate your time, most definitely. Like I've always said, we don't take that for granted. We appreciate so
Not
much
at
the
all.
opportunity to come before you and to pour into your marriage. All marriages need that positive influence. Sometimes you have your girlfriends, and the minute you say, your husband did this or your husband did that, they all over it. Oh, he is not this. Oh, he's not that. Oh, he always. I told you.
Oh, yes.
You need that person in your ear, or in our case, that couple in your ear that's continuing to encourage you.
Absolutely.
And motivate you to keep going, keep pushing. This is just a rough patch. Let's go. How can we get through this? How can we make this better? We all need that type of cheerleader, so to speak. James wouldn't call himself a cheerleader, but I would. I mean, yay. Marriage.
You were the head cheerleader.
I was. I was. Hey. Now
That's
that was
enough.
just a few years back.
No cap.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So again, thank you. That's all I was really trying to say. We appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if we have helped you in any way tonight or in the past, we appreciate if you guys just share this video along with others just to get the information out there, because marriage, man, it's just something, the representation of it is just not what it used to be. It really isn't. 1 out of 2 of them fail. And the work put in to planning the wedding is way more than what it is to even keep the marriage going or keeping it together.
Yeah.
And that's completely the wrong balance it should be. So we got to do more to make marriage look cool, so we can get more people in it. People get more marrying later, because it looks
like work.
And it is.
And it is.
I mean, and think about it. This is going to sound terrible, and I've said this before.
Uh-oh.
If you think about the concept of marriage, it is absolutely boring.
What?
It's boring. It's mind-blowingly boring. You're going to be with one person for the rest of your days on this earth. Wake up with them, go to bed with them, eat with them, sleep with them.
Oh, that's what we doing? That's what we doing.
It's just, oh my goodness. I'm having pizza again. Oh my God. Oh, okay. We're having pizza
we
again.
get it. Get to the point.
You get the point, right? So you gotta throw extra stuff in there to make it live, so you can get you one of these. You know what I'm saying?
Nice save, right?
You gotta do something more in your marriage so it doesn't seem like a sentence. It needs to seem like the gift that it is.
Correct.
Being able to get paired with a person that you get to be with for the rest of your life. That you don't have to worry about. You can trust them wholly. You can be vulnerable with them. You can do anything with this person and not have to worry about it. Right?
Yes.
You got to do the work to get that. And y'all think it's just going to happen just because this, whatever you seeing out there in these internets. And that's not how it goes. It takes work.
Right.
It does take work. Just like anything else, it takes work. And you have to make sure that you're willing to do the work before you walk through it. Because if you're not, you're going to be in for a big surprise.
And if you're already in this thing, and I've said it 100 times before, and you are interested in us being your personal marriage mentors,
Absolutely.
please reach out to us. We'd love to have you at the Lees at elevatemarriages.com. Again, the Lees at elevatemarriages.com.
Yes. Tune in. Turn on notifications.
Yes.
So you can actually receive them when we post another video or when we do another live Q&A, or love Q&A as we like to call it.
Oh, that's cute.
You know what I'm saying?
Love Q&A. I
Love
like
Q&A.
it. I think he just came up with that too, but we'll take it.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for
All
sure.
right.
So we always close out with our wonderful quote from Dr. Maya Angelou: "Do the best you can until you know better, and when you know better, do better." I'm
All right.
James Lee.
And I'm Tasha Lee.
We'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Peace.